Hey everyone, Coach Investor back to another video for today. So in today's video, let's talk about Rivian. The stock, well, the company saw its stock reach record lows just under $16. Now, before I start this video, let's pay our respect to the analyst that gave a $130 price target with a buy rating back in December 2021. Congratulations. So in today's video, I'm going to go over two analyst notes with some new price targets, not so bullish. We're going to go over an article that talks about the executives that are leaving Rivian and the ones that have joined the company. Then talk a bit about their deliveries, the production numbers, and why, although they barely reached the production goal that they wanted for 2022, even though that was reduced already from the initial goal, it still is quite an achievement seeing where they were back in 2021. So we're going to cover all of that in this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment. So first up, we have a price target lowering to $28 from $43 at Deutsche Bank, and you would probably win $1 million if you can guess which analyst did this. You guessed correctly, the one with the $130 price target. So he lowered the firm's price target on Rivian Automotive to $28 from $43 and keeps a buy rating on the shares. The analyst expects a mixed Q4 earnings and 2023 guidance season for US autos, with several companies potentially missing quarterly consensus estimates and most of them likely to issue cautious 2023 guidance amid ongoing choppy industry conditions and macro uncertainty. Of course, being cautious right now makes more sense. Going on and over the next one, at Goldman Sachs, price target lowering from $41 to $19 keeps a neutral rating on the shares. As part of a broader research note, the weak macro backdrop should make for a challenging and choppy fundamental environment in 2023, but EVs, ADAS applications are still set to growth and auto production can be up modestly from a low base as supply constraint moderate. The analyst adds that while he continues to expect Rivian to be successful in the long term, fundamentally, his reduced price target reflects lower shipment assumptions to better reflect company ramp progress and the supply chain. And here I actually agree a little bit with the analyst. I do think that long-term Rivian will make it. It will take a while. They have enough cash to survive. They say until 2025. I think they have enough cash to survive. They have the backing of Amazon. The cars look great. The reviews are great as well. Of course, ramping up production in the current macroeconomic environment is going to cost them. Let's hope for them that production goes up quite fast. Cash burning goes a bit lower. Let's wait and see. But overall, the company itself, I do think is going to be a success. The stock from the start, I said, is a no-go. Now, I do have a question for you, the viewer. I asked this on Twitter as well. Let's say Rivian, Lucid, or any other EV startup goes bankrupt. What happens next? What happens to your car? Especially what happens with the software? Who's going to update the software of those cars if the company goes bankrupt? Let's talk about maybe even legacy companies. They start producing software, they start updating your car, and then suddenly, no money, they're closing their doors, nobody is here to help them, so the company goes bankrupt, and you're left with a car with software that will not be updated anymore. I mean, this is something that probably not a lot of people have been thinking about this, and to me, it is a risk. Imagine buying a phone. You have a phone and suddenly the company is bankrupt and that's it. You don't get any software's update anymore, which means apps potentially won't work in your phone for the next couple of years. What do? Same thing here could be asked about a car. What will happen? Open-ended question, you can answer this in the comments below. Next up, we have here several top Rivian executives depart the electric vehicle startup. Of course, the headline is, well, meant for you to click on it, and of course I did click on it. So first up here, the executives who have left were some of Rivian's longer tenured employees. Among them is Randy Frank, Vice President of Body and Interior Engineering, and Steve, not gonna butcher his last name, the Vice President in charge of parts purchasing. Both had departed around the beginning of this year. Continuing here, another early employee, Patrick Hunt, a senior director in the strategy team, left the company late last year. Mr. Hunt joined Rivian in 2015. Rivian's general counsel, Neil, departed in September after 4.5 years with the company, which was founded in 2009. Now, they did quote here and say, "We continue to attract world-class talent to our company as our business needs change." And then here are a bit of the positives, let's say. Tim Fallon, former head of Nissan Motors factory in Canton, was hired in early 2022 to run Rivian's Seoul factory in Normal. Then in June, Rivian hired Frank Klein as chief operating officer from contract manufacturer Magna something. And then they also announced that Rivian has hired Andreas from toolmaker Stanley Black & Decker to oversee Rivian's supply chain logistics. So yes, there are some executives that are leaving, and then they basically hire other people to maybe better suit their needs currently. So of course, sometimes, maybe as always, the headlines are meant for you to click on it, so more fear mongering, but then if you read through it, there are some positives and some negatives as well. Now, I do want to touch on the production numbers. So first up, let's look at 2021. So they closed 2021 with over 1,000 vehicles produced. 920 vehicles were delivered by that date. Okay, that was 2021. Now, if we look at 2022, their goal was 25,000. They reach here on a full year 2022 basis. The company produced 24,337 vehicles, so just below their goal, which was obviously lowered, and delivered 20,332 vehicles. So the difference between 2021 and 2022 is huge. Of course, when you're ramping up production, we've seen this with Tesla as well. When you're ramping up production, the early stages are the most difficult ones. To me, a congratulations is in order for Rivian to go from under 1,000 vehicles delivered to over 20,000 vehicles delivered in 1 year and in a very difficult one. 2023 should be exciting for Rivian as a company as they continue to ramp up. And as you ramp up, usually cost should come down, especially as you sell more and more vehicles. And now before we conclude, as promised, let's look at the graph. This is on a weekly chart. As you can see, Rivian right now is at its lowest. Not only is it at its lowest, it's quite under the 20, 50 and 200 day moving average. Also, from an RSI standpoint, you can see it has turned oversold right now. But if you look at the MACD, it is bearish as well. Not that much, but it is bearish. Now, being oversold just a little bit doesn't mean a lot, because as you can see in the past here, it was already oversold, but it was already over $24. And it took a while until it rebounded and went into a more neutral RSI environment here. Right now, again, with a company like Rivian, probably what will move the stock is whatever Tesla will report next week, especially during the earnings call. Maybe the outlook for 2023 could be positive, could be negative for the company. And then when it moves, a company like Rivian, a stock like Rivian, probably could move very, very fast on the upside. On the downside right now, is there a lot of risk? I don't know if there's a lot of risk. There is risk, as always, especially for a company like Rivian. In the current environment, there is risk, but entering that oversold zone, maybe if you like to trade in the short term, could be interesting. So to conclude, and by the way, for those that have missed the Netflix earnings video, it's going to be in the top right corner. We're going to cover a lot of companies this earnings season, so stay tuned for that. Now to conclude, with regards to Rivian, I'll repeat myself, stock, no, company, yes, that's it. A good company right now, maybe it's not the right time to go in it. If you like short-term trading, maybe it is, but for long-term, I'd rather see it play out in the next year or two to see it maybe stabilize, especially those losses, and see if ramping up could be done in a, let's say, better way. That's about it for me. Obviously, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.